Very warm welcome to the United Nations Secretary General António Guterres.
President van der Bellen, Chancellor Kurz, Prime Ministers, Governor Schwarzenegger, our 20 organizer, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen. I'm very pleased and very honored to be with all of you today. And I thank the government of Austria and the R20 for promoting the low-carbon infrastructure we need to achieve the Sustainable Development Goals and to implement the Paris Agreement, and with enhanced ambition, as the targets that were fixed in Paris, we all know, will not be enough. We need to have an increased ambition in that implementation. And this is a matter of utmost priority. Every day, I'm faced with the challenges of our troubled and complex world. But none of them loom so large as climate change. If we fail to meet the challenge, all our other challenges will just become greater and threaten to swallow us. Climate change is quite simply an existential threat for most life on the planet, including and especially the life of humankind. And that is why we must use all our resources to build a sense of urgency. We must act with common purpose to raise ambition while we still have time to limit temperature rise to well below 2 degrees and as close to 1.5 degrees as possible. And for that, we need leadership and innovation, the focus of this summit. Both are essential for climate action. And today I'd like to focus on solutions. We do need a new energy revolution. The Stone Age did not end because the world ran out of stones. We do not need to wait for coal and oil to run out to end the age of fossil fuels. A great many solutions already exist or are in the pipeline. In the past decade, prices for renewables have plummeted and investments are on the rise. Today, a fifth of the world's electricity is produced by renewable energy. We must build on these. And there are plenty of examples to inspire us. Morocco is building a solar farm the size of Paris that will power over 1 million homes by 2020. Last July, China surpassed its 2020 goal of 105 gigawatts of solar photovoltaic capacity. A decade ago, it had a mere 100 megawatts. That's more than a 1,000-fold increase in 10 years and represents nearly 1/3 of global installed capacity. In France, the government has announced a bill to end the search for and the production of hydrocarbons. In the United States, renewables are set to provide 69% of new capacity by 2021, as dozens of coal plants are retired. And just last week, Allianz, a leading insurer, announced it would refuse to cover coal-fired power plants and coal mines with immediate effect and rid itself of all coal risks. The world is seeing a groundswell of climate action. It is clear that clean energy makes climate sense, but it also makes economic sense. Today, it is the cheapest energy, and it will deliver significant health benefits. Air pollution affects nearly all of us, regardless of borders. The World Health Organization reports that more than 80% of people living in urban areas are exposed to poor and dangerous air quality. In China, it is estimated that fewer deaths from improved air quality could lead to savings of nearly $340 billion by 2030, 4 times the cost of meeting China's climate goals. This surely is the definition of a win-win-win. Ladies and gentlemen, investments in clean, green infrastructure need to be scaled up globally. And for that, we need leadership from the finance and investment community and by local, regional, and national governments who will decide on major infrastructure plans over the coming years. And I encourage private sector leaders here today to announce new sources of financing for clean energy projects. The International Energy Agency estimates that investments in renewable energy last year was $242 billion US. That is still only, even already, more than half of what was invested in new fossil fuel development. That figure is promising, but remains insufficient. For a full-scale transition to clean energy, we must see trillions invested by 2020. And I also encourage you to disclose your climate risks, to divest from fossil fuels, and to forge partnerships that will invest in low-emission, resilient infrastructure. We need to do this from the biggest cities to the smallest towns. The opportunities are tremendous. Some 75% of the infrastructure needed by 2050 still remains to be built. Now, how this is done will either lock us into a high-emission future or steer us towards truly sustainable low-emissions development. And there is only one rational choice. And let us also encourage innovative solutions to localize climate finance. We can take inspiration from Toronto and Cape Town, which have launched their own green bonds. And I also look forward to the outcome of today's discussions on a subnational climate finance facility for sub-Saharan Africa. And I applaud this summit's emphasis on city and subnational action. We need financing to reach the people and the places that need it most. Mobilizing and equipping local governments with capacity and financing to accelerate climate action is necessary if we are to bend the emissions curve. Ladies and gentlemen, despite inspiring climate action in so many places, climate change continues to move faster than what we are. As the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change says, and I quote, "The more we disrupt our climate, the more we risk severe, pervasive, and irreversible impacts," end of quote. But it does not have to be that way. The economies of solar and wind are on our side. Cutting-edge technologies such as electric vehicles or energy from algae promise a new era of clean air and climate action. New awareness is growing. New partnerships are being formed. Let us build on this momentum. Next year, as it was said, I'm convening a climate summit to galvanize greater climate ambition. And I count on you to take ambition to new heights today and to pave the way for more leadership and innovative action. Let us join a race to the top, a race where there are only winners. Thank you very much.